Oh, yes, welcome everybody. Today we are starting without the music as both Jacob and Maverick are absent. They are still trying to recover after the Christmas. But today we have the special guest, our CBDO, Lucas, Professor Farmer. Welcome.
Hello.
And obviously, me, your humble CEO, Pan Paragraf, and founder of GameSwift. Happy to basically start today Townhall as I just recently tweeted, and I tweeted with pretty big, pretty huge declaration that upcoming first quarter, that considering what we are building, what we are cooking behind the scenes, the first quarter of the next year could be the most bullish quarter in the whole history of GSWIFT. So considering what we achieved so far, it's really hard to imagine what you can expect from upcoming months. And this is exactly why we are here to summarize the whole year 2023. And we are trying to leak some alphas, some exciting announcements to just to give you just a little taste of what you can expect for the next year and quarter. So before we jump into the summary of the current year, because it is still ongoing, maybe Lucas, for those who are like being offline for several couple of days, like for example me, can you share some update from the overall market? Because you need to know that Lucas is our one of the best analysts that I've ever met, and he's also providing us with his internal research. This helped us to fill the market, to basically introduce our products upgrades in the best possible time, and as you can see, it is working really well so far. So, Lucas, what happened in the last couple of days, and what's your expectations for the upcoming weeks when we speak about overall market?
Yeah, like the last couple of weeks, definitely very bullish, not only for crypto markets, but also traditional markets. So we see definitely that US dollar is losing strength. It's gradually going down, the price of the US dollar, and it also is correlated with higher stock prices, higher risk assets prices, not only stocks, but obviously crypto. So currently we are very happy with that. As you can see, this has also been reflected in a price action of different tokens, including GSWIFT. So we are happy with that. This is pretty in line, with market conditions, but pretty in line also with what we deliver to our community. So happy to, ride the trend basically, and that GameSwift is also a part of this huge market uprising, I would say. I guess that we are still early in the cycle. Obviously, there might be some, corrections, etc. Obviously, right now in the upcoming weeks, we will probably finally get this ETF approval, which is just, lining basically for this. Probably we should mark this 10th of January as a final deadline for this approval. Of course, there might be some shifts, but I guess that it will finally come, and we need to be prepared for that. But basically, whatever happens, we know, guys, that there are some kind of sell the news events. Anyway, we have a couple of other narratives going on. Later on, there will be like Bitcoin halving, which is also very bullish for the crypto market. Usually, the biggest gains, which are generated by Bitcoin, actually usually are taking place after the halving, not before. So of course, everything might happen. There might be some kind of shift, but we need to also be mindful of these 4-year cycles, which keep repeating themselves. And currently, there are all of the signs are suggesting that we might replicate this cycle right now. And according to the cycles, we are still early. So happy to see that actually, there will be more and more players joining this race. Because ultimately what we see as, crypto market participants is that we are still early in this market, that majority of the world either doesn't know anything about crypto, either they don't have any wallets, etc. And we know how to operate in this system. So basically, once more and more people will join the race, also by buying ETFs, we should also expect ultimately, appreciating prices of these assets. So anyway, I think like it's pretty bullish. We should also take into account that actually, US stock market is right now near all-time highs. So this is also a very good sign for the crypto market. And even though in Europe, currently, we see major economies experiencing, some kind of recessions. They still the stock markets of these economies, like Germany, like France, is performing not bad in comparison to the market conditions. So pretty bullish.
Pretty bullish. So before we jump to the summary of the current year, if I can ask a very simple question, if you could choose whether Bitcoin ETF will be buy the rumor, sell the news, or buy the rumor, buy the news, what would you choose?
Yeah, I think like it'll be a little bit of sell the news, but I think like initially we will get like a huge spike to the upside, and after that, the price will, I think, gradually come down. It probably will come, lower than it was before the approval. So I think like that we should expect that. Like obviously the price of Bitcoin has already, appreciated a lot. So I would expect that it will chill out for a little while, but still, ultimately, I don't think that it'd be like, if merge, for example. We remember if merge, ultimately it turned out to be, a solid news event, and actually, Ethereum was performing pretty bad in upcoming months. So I think this is not the same case. Like that was a different, part of the market cycle, and right now we're early in this bullish market cycle. So we should ultimately surpass this price, even though initially there will be some solid news.
Pan looks like has hangover after the Christmas. Not necessarily. I think I performed pretty well this Christmas. However, I'm still going back to the shape. I'm still outside the Krakow. I'm in my hometown in Nowy Sącz. So greetings for the people from the south of Poland here, and I'm expecting to go back to my home today. Too much bigos in the house. Yeah, maybe too much bigos. Yeah. So the overall assumption is that ETF is already pricing. However, and that's my conclusion, I think everybody is saying that it is pricing, that there will be a sell the news, exactly like it was the case with gold ETF, because if we look at the chart, gold ETF, once introduced, there was like a couple of months of correction and then 300% pump. So that's exactly why I'm thinking maybe this time it will be different. Maybe the upcoming halving will be such a big catalyst to push us even higher. Because what's the case of dumping Bitcoin just after ETF announcement? If you have in your mind that in upcoming 3 months there will be another bullish event for Bitcoin, and that's exactly why I think that maybe this time will be different. But let's summarize. Let's go back to GameSwift, because this town hall is all about GameSwift. We just wanted to give you some hint of what's going on in the market. So maybe we will not scroll month after month, but rather than we'll pick the most bullish things that we introduced this year, and we'll do it one by one. So maybe Lucas, if you could choose one big thing which happened this year, what would it be?
Yeah, like that would definitely be, our token listing, because that was the most important, I think, event during this year, even though we were building a lot of other stuff, but still the token itself unites all of our community and also provides a sort of financial incentive for the whole GameSwift army, I would say. So yeah, our listing 21st of July 2023. This is a big date for us, for our whole community. And yeah, that was the most important event, I think. So,
And
and I
considering
think,
that it was still the bear market, how do you think it performed?
yeah, it performed like, awesome. Like there are a lot of people approaching us and asking, how did you guys do it? Like, especially that was, we were approached during, more bearish market conditions, because right now it's definitely easier to do like 10x, like what we have done in bear market. But let's be honest, we started with this 10x in bear market, and right now we are like at 40x or something like that. So actually, like I believe, like we had our job done pretty well, and I'm happy that we actually have launched during bearish market conditions, that a lot of people have organically jumped on this boat, that were able to buy games with that some kind of attractive valuation, attractive price, and now they are our, I would say, loyal community members. This is definitely a better approach than launching the token in the roaring bull market, when it's not easy to sustain these prices for the long time, especially as the market is going down.
Yeah, exactly. And what I really like is that we avoided some kind of the pump and dump at the listing. Of course, that there was some correction from 17 down to 5 cents, but still, it was a very successful listing, and it gave a lot of space for organic community building process. And before this amazing pump, right now up to even 50 cents, people, the number of unique token holders that we've built was more than 10,000, and that's really hard to achieve during the bear market. So yeah, that's definitely one of the biggest news this year. So considering that now it's my turn, I would pick the launch of our GameSwift platform, because it was also launched at the let's say bear market. It was February this year, and what I really like about GameSwift is that we launched our product far before the official listing of the tokens. So at the time of the launch, there was more than 40,000 players registered, and until this time, we've already secured a lot of games to be listed on the platform. So from my perspective, I'm really all about fundamentals. So that's what I like, that we delivered also the product. And okay, Lucas, now your turn. Give me some another amazing news this year.
Another amazing news from this year. I believe like GameSwift Airdrop campaign. Maybe I'm a little bit too much focused, on this token side of things, but I think like we had to, do some kind of this sort of settlement with, let's say, old STT stakers, and also bringing new community members. I believe our airdrop campaign was very successful, and especially it was very, attractive for the people who were able to hold these tokens for the long period of time. I'm also summing up with this airdrop campaign because just 6 days ago we have finished the whole vesting schedule for this airdrop. So this is also worth noting that that the airdrop, GameSwift airdrop, is now fully released.
Yes, and that's another very good news. So considering that it's my turn this time, I would pick maybe the fact that we secured two out of top 10 CEXs for the listing. We started with the Bybit, which is, as I'm checking right now, listed as the top 6 exchange, and it was followed by successful listing on Bitget, top 9 exchange right now. So I'm really happy of those listings because it provided us a lot of volume. I believe that GSWIFT token has a really decent volume on those exchanges. And also the Bybit IDO was a huge success. I think it was the best performing IDO this year for the whole Bybit Launchpad platform. And this inflation has also finished, as far as I know. I think that people 3 days ago or 4 days ago received the final portion of their token. Of course, there was some correction connected with this unlock, but now we are free to go, and those people are happy.
Yeah, I remember guys from Kujurak, celebrating a sort of, Independence Day. Very, very, bothered with a lot of people, taking, profits, especially as the bear market was on and this token was still performing quite very well.
Yes.
So, for us, it's also quite important that we have released more tokens and actually paid our debts regarding all of these IDO tokens and airdrops.
Yes, and that's a very good bullish news to highlight that, as you said, the airdrop inflation is coming to the end. And I think that we can look that starting from January, we'll proceed with the official governance proposal that the time for claiming airdrop is coming to the end. And we are going to burn the hell out of GSWIFT tokens to celebrate this, as still a lot of them has been unclaimed. And the public sale from Bybit has been already also distributed. So that's a lot of inflation to be reduced this in this week or in this period of time. So Lucas, I think it's your turn.
So you have just started now teasing about this, I would say very hot month which is coming, like January. But I would say that even though usually January, especially in the northern hemisphere, is not a hot warm month, for GameSwift community it will be very warm because of this governance proposal regarding burning some tokens, some airdrop tokens. So we will start, to create some deflationary mechanism for our community members, for our token holders. This is very important to start with. Also when it comes, to the last important events which has been released just a couple of weeks ago. So GameSwift Pay, this is a very major update, so we need to also mention that. But that's a very successful event. We have filled in all of the slots basically in the matters of 20 minutes or something like that. So that's a great story, because people are showing some kind of, they are becoming our loyalty program, I would say, participants. So this basically shows us that we have loyal community members who are ready to lock their tokens, of course for some benefits in exchange, but still they trust us, they see a great progress, and they are happy to hold our tokens for the longer period of time. So definitely GameSwift Pay event was very successful. And what do you think about this, Pan?
I'm also very satisfied but I'm feeling that it is just the beginning of something even more exciting, because that these are the questions from the people on the chat. They can't wait to know if I missed out the GSP staking, when I will be able to finally lock my GSWIFT tokens. So maybe we'll jump to this at the next part of our today's town hall episode. So please be patient, because we will not forget about you. The alpha will be provided. And speaking of loyal community, yes, definitely, that's the big thing. I'm also happy that a lot of people from the Terra has been rewarded, as you know, they had the feeling of being underwater. They lost a lot of money. So what I really liked about the GSWIFT airdrop is that those people has been mostly compensated, and that's why we have such a loyal community. I can reveal that I've been speaking with Elliot Waves before the Christmas, and that was the point which he really admired, because he also has the story of airdropping his previous community, and that's something, you know, unusual, which paved the way for our whole performance this and next year. Speaking of next catalyst, bullish catalyst for 2023, from my perspective, it was GameSwift Multiverse expansion campaign. As during this campaign, we distributed GSWIFT and spread brand awareness around GSWIFT token across 7 different chains. We executed a lot of transactions using Layer 0 technology, making GSWIFT potentially eligible for the Layer 0 airdrop, which, as I promise, if will be granted, will be fully distributed back to the community. And at the same time, we doubled our unique token holders number, and right now I think it's more than 15,000 across Arbitrum, across Ethereum. That's yes, it's Elliott Trades, not Elliott Waves. Sorry, that's what I am always making mistake around. So for me, Multiverse expansion campaign, it was a really big catalyst for the growth, and I think it was some kind of foundation for what happened next.
Yeah, and the great thing about, you know, Multiverse campaign is that still we haven't, like, you know, legally burned these tokens from the campaign. So you can expect that this will be also, you know, a part of the governance proposal.
Yes, and so
160,000 GSWIFT tokens.
Yes, and that's a pretty huge number if we consider the recent price movement. Okay, your turn, Lucas. Do you have some cards to be played?
I'm thinking about, yeah, you know, just also this is a recent event, so this integration of our launcher with AI, GPU computing power mechanism, which enables
GSForce AI.
Yeah, GSForce AI, which it resembles a little bit the name of a very renowned graphic card engine. So yeah, I would say that this is a also very good thing. Like I remember Camille comparing, you know, just computing power as a sort of new oil for, you know, economy. This is a pretty, you know, important thing. Like for example, all of the big, you know, actors are jumping this boat of, you know, gathering this computing power. So we see like Tesla, we see Microsoft, we see all of these companies like Amazon buying a shit hell load of this computing power. So we should be careful about them, because these are like a couple big companies. We all know all of these stories about, you know, cyberpunks, all of these big corporations ruling the world, and we should be mindful about that, because there are a lot of concerns about, especially, you know, gathering all of these big resources, all of the computing power, AI resources into, you know, the possession of a couple of, you know, big players. So I think like we are building in decentralized space. Players, what they have graphic cards, they want to play games, but they also want to get some additional revenue and be also a part of some kind of movement which enables our civilization to move forward in a more, you know, balanced and decentralized manner. So I very like this idea. I'm very interested, you know, about AI and the whole new technology advancements. So I think like this step forward is a major also major move forward for GameSwift and our community.
Oh yes, definitely. I think that was so far our biggest announcement this year, and I still believe that the market is that this news is not priced in, because if people would consider that there are almost 2 billion gaming computers in the world and there is no other product trying to use this GPU power from those computers that could be successfully monetized, if we consider that the share of real yield from this source, thanks to the AI and machine learning monetization, will be shared with the GSWIFT stakers, then the hell, like it's really hard to price it in. Anyway, the last final event from this year, and I think that we can move on with what you can expect from the next one. Don't talk so much. Okay, then I'm not talking too much. GameSwift Ambassador Program. I believe it was very successful. It onboarded a lot of new people, and a lot of projects are asking me how we made it, how we organized it. So I'm not talking too much. Lucas, do you think it's the right time to proceed with what we can expect for the next year?
Yeah, let's start with the next year, because obviously 2023 was awesome, but I think like 2024 might be even better. So let's prepare for something. Like, also, as you are token holders, we all know that all of these stock exchanges, assets, they actually price in the future, right? So we should also focus on the future and what we will be delivering in upcoming months, because there will be a lot of stuff.
Yeah, like Erdogan Aktash said, please pump the fucking coin. Please talk fundamentals. So I think it's the right time. It's the right time to provide you with the fundamentals.
Yeah,
Lucas.
says that he changed his Turkish lira in GSWIFT. Yeah, this might be a great idea, especially taking into account that Turkish lira is not performing well and the inflation is very high in Turkey. So yeah, definitely. I think it's not financial advice, but might be a good idea.
First, fundamentals, maybe one by one, like we did with 2023. The first fundamental is that right now, 25% of GSWIFT market cap is locked for at least 3 months. And starting from January, we'll open the round for latecomers. And maybe we'll proceed with some expectations, Lucas, considering that GSWIFT Pay has been like oversubscribed. Which percentage of the totals or market cap to be locked can we expect? How do you think? Maybe my expectation is that we can reach at least 70%.
Yeah, I think I think we will reach like around 50% at GameSwift Pay, and additional 20-25 in both liquidity pools and regular staking. So I think ultimately I think up to even 80% might be locked, because that's a very fair and reasonable number.
Okay, so the first fundamental, we expect that somewhere between 50 to 80% of GSWIFT tokens will be locked, will be out of the circulation, leading to the supply shock. So this should definitely affect the token. But first, maybe let's summarize why people will lock the GSWIFT tokens. So maybe that's your turn, Lucas. How do you think? Why they will do it?
That's something which is heating up. All of the crypto communities are airdrops. So we know that recently, for example, Modular blockchain, also Celestia, has also appreciated a lot in the price, because people are expecting that Celestia will be receiving a lot of airdrops of tokens building in their ecosystem. This is similar with Injective, for example, another major run up. So I think this airdrop
Okay, Lucas, so let me get it straight. How many airdrops do you expect for the next year?
For the whole year, this is a tough call. I'm thinking about 6, 7. What do you think about it?
Huh. I don't want to front run any announcements, but considering what I know, what's going on in the first quarter next year, when I consider that maybe 2 or 3 airdrops will be distributed only in the first quarter, then your opinion could be a little bit conservative.
Yeah. Okay. So let's say the 2, 3 airdrops in the first quarter. So how about we make it like 1 airdrop per month? So people are, constantly stimulated with some new airdrops. That would be
Yeah,
great. 12
uh,
airdrops in the whole year. Can we do it?
to be honest, considering what we have in our playbook, we could do it. Like at least I don't know, because you know that I like to spread emotions over the time, and I don't want to like overwhelm people with those bullish catalysts in first quarter only. But this is technically possible. I think that a lot of people know that we speculate about Star Heroes airdrop, but a lot of people don't speculate about the next airdrops because they don't know what's going on. And maybe I will finish at this point.
Yeah, and you know what is great? That we have already teased our community that we'll be introducing governance. And many people think, oh, governance, pretty boring stuff. I don't want to even vote. This is not something interesting to me. But actually, for GameSwift, this governance is the sort of, initial stage of forming up this DAO, which will be receiving all of the airdrops, will be deciding to burn the circulating supply. So this is great, that we are starting with this governance in the upcoming month, and that will be also a sort of new start of our decentralization and our redistribution of wealth, I would say, to our token stakers and participants of GameSwift Pay.
And one thing, Erdogan, if you say fuck the airdrops, pump the GSWIFT, then you probably misunderstood what I've just said. Maybe you can play it back, and you will realize why it's like pump. But speaking of the governance, yes, that's another major catalyst for the January, because Erdogan, maybe you are not aware, those airdrops will be distributed to the GSWIFT token stakers. So that's the natural buying pressure and natural incentive to buy, stake, and forget. That means when we it's a pretty easy mathematic. Supply shock plus upcoming airdrops for GSWIFT stakers equals to, and that's the point where I would touch the financial advice. So maybe that's why I'm going to skip it. But I think that the final effect of this mathematic operation is pretty obvious. But the governance is freaking big thing. Why? Because when we, and that's what I tweeted on my personal profile. It's really probable that we, as the GameSwift, we are going to build the biggest Web3 gaming treasury in the whole ecosystem. It's not only about GSWIFT tokens, as 44%, almost half of the total circulation, will like merge into one big token treasury, which will pave the way, which will create the foundation for upcoming GameSwift modular blockchain. But also, there are going to be more projects to contribute to this treasury, and the fact that GSWIFT will have utility of governance to govern those tokens, and if you consider that this will be the top 7, speaking right now, the top 7 treasury in the whole DeFi space, then it's a very strong utility for the GSWIFT token. And a lot of people will have incentive to buy it, to stake it, because staking GSWIFT means powers of governance, means power how we can distribute those tokens. So that's another big thing that Lucas has mentioned.
Yeah, and Pan, don't be modest about this because we are calling top 7, DeFi treasury, but actually we can call it top one gaming Web3 gaming treasury, and that will be true.
Yes, that's why I said that we are going to build the biggest Web3 gaming treasury, while it is still huge in the DeFi, in the whole DeFi space, because the DeFi space is about Arbitrum Foundation, about Ethereum Foundation. We know when I went to the DeFi Llama and I scrolled the treasuries by market cap, by the total number of dollars in those treasuries, and when I realized that we are like very close to the Ethereum Foundation, then I realized, oh my God, this is something big is going on.
Yeah, but if you maxes were waiting to flip Bitcoin, but actually they might experience their treasury being flipped by GameSwift. So beware.
Yeah, that's going to be freaking exciting. I really want to like overtake some big brands, but let's stay humble. Let's go back to the fundamentals, because this part of episode is about fundamentals. Lucas, do you see some more fundamentals for maybe let's not focus on the whole year, because when I think about the first quarter, it is so full of bullish catalysts that if we would have to go over the whole year, over the all 4 quarters, maybe we would be run out of time. So maybe let's focus on the first quarter only.
Yeah, another big thing, great stuff. What we're doing, it will be GameSwift Modular Chain Testnet. So you will be able to participate in Testnet, do some interactions, and this is another major catalyst because together with Testnet, we will announce, a massive, obviously this will be approved by our decentralized governance, but we're aiming to, introduce this massive grant program for all of the projects which want to join GameSwift, and that will be grant program and also investment fund, which will be joined by a couple of our friendly strategic partners, VCs, who will be also supporting projects building on top of GameSwift. So if any of you guys are thinking or are in that sort of build mode right now, thinking about deploying some project, we will be happy to have you here on GameSwift. So yeah, Testnet this will be a great thing, to start with, because people will be able actually, to use their GSWIFT as a payment transaction token, so currency. Yeah, so that will be also a great upgrade, which is coming in the first quarter.
Yes, that's definitely a big thing. I even feel like a little bit troubleful that we treat this like just another big thing coming. But when you realize that GameSwift has been the first in the space to adapt ZK technology to develop modular blockchain, then it's something really big. And CoinGecko has already included us in the modular blockchain technology. I think when we launch our testnet, CoinMarketCap CMC will follow, and that will deliver a lot of emotions around the token. People will find out how many tokens will be needed to secure the validator, which will be a very hot deal. The small disclaimer: we don't plan to sell those validators. That's not the source of another capital inflow. We plan GSWIFT to have utility to be locked to create validators. So I pretty sure that this will be a very big catalyst for upcoming GS for the GSWIFT token itself. Another big thing is definitely GBACs, like C has written on the chat. So if I could choose, the fact that we are implementing the whole payment infrastructure connected with the in-game premium currency that could be easily adapted to any game for the SDK, which could be universal across all the games on our platform, then it's becoming a very interesting fundamental element of our ecosystem. I believe that since you are in the GS Pay, then you can also expect a very decent discounts for purchasing this GBACs, which could provide you with competitive advantage in games from our ecosystem.
Yeah. So when it comes to first quarter, definitely Pan has teased about GBACs, GS Pay system, which will basically enable people who are in, like we have already mentioned about airdrops for GSPay, so we are already incentivized to lock your tokens, but actually it might turn out that it be also very profitable to get these GBACs at the discount and transform this discount into some additional profits in the games. And obviously one of the major titles which is coming soon is Star Heroes. Yeah, so Star Heroes will be using GBacks, and this game is coming just in upcoming months. So that will be a great deal also to I think it's even better to secure some GBacks earlier, because then you will be sure and certain that you will be able to use these GBacks in Star Heroes and get some additional perks, and also stay in some kind of competitive advantage in comparison to others who are not a part of GameSwift Pay benefit system.
Yeah, and I'm very sorry because I'm trying to repair my battery charger, but it looks like that I'm going to be run out of energy. So if that's going to be the case, this means the end of the life. So please bear it in mind, and maybe we can jump back to the questions from our chat. Lucas, how do you think?
Yeah, sure. Let's start with questions.
uh, Okay, so will GameSwift be Launchpad in the future by any chance? There were rumors about it somewhere. Lucas, how do you think?
Uh, Launchpad?
Yes.
Did I understand correctly? Like, oh, now I can see the question. Sorry. Yeah, there are rumors about it. Like, I think, like we're not primarily a launchpad anymore, but still, this is also a great thing to spark some kind of interest about games joining GameSwift. So I think like the whole tier system connected with GS Pay might be useful for the purpose of participating, but participating in not some on launchpad, some kind of IDOs on daily basis, not some kind of but more like very exclusive ones. So I would expect that we will have this functionality, and this is also, I would say, my prediction for the next year, that GameSwift Pay, for example, members will be able to join a couple of very exclusive offerings.
Yes, I think the reason why the Launchpad module has been not introduced so far is our concern that we don't want to be recognized as Launchpad anymore. We built one of the most successful Launchpad as Startera with more than 40,000 KYC people. We have all the know-how needed to provide the best possible ideas. Like we know a lot of projects, a lot of project builders. We know how to organize it from the development point of view. But we wanted to be recognized as the modular blockchain, as the AI launcher provider, as the gaming ecosystem, and then as the launchpad. So that's why we are not rushing with it. However, considering that there is a big deal flow of upcoming games asking us for the launchpad services, I believe it's inevitable to introduce this launchpad module as well. What about the opportunity to achieve seat allocations for GSPay stakers? When we can expect the first seat allocation occasion? So I believe that the first quarter will be also the first time where we are going to offer you the seat allocation. I don't want to reveal the name of the project. However, I believe that this will be a very good deal. And Lucas, you probably know what project I am talking about.
Yeah. So that would be a very lucrative option, to join the offering. But to be honest, I'm not sure whether all of the GS Pay stakers will be entitled for that. So I would be, if I were, GS Pay staker, I would think about, joining some kind of higher tiers, because some kind of exclusive deals will be available only to those in the higher ladder of GS Pay. staking system.
Yes, and that's extra incentive for the people to level up. However, will it's also dependent on the project, how much they would like to raise, what kind of investors do they expect to be on board at the seed sale. Because if it was all about me, I would have no problem to introduce all GSWIFT stakers to participate. But sometimes projects just want to basically, at least at the seed, so the early stage of their investment fundraising, they prefer to include bigger checks, and that's why there might be the case, and that's what we hear from the projects asking for the seed allocation to GS Pay stakers. They prefer to stick with the bigger tiers. I don't want to reveal whether gold is enough, but Lucas, do you want to ask or to give some hint?
Yeah, I think I like this hierarchy that gold is some kind of color of kings, etc. So I think gold might be a very viable option to join this tier, and that would be still a very exclusive deal.
Okay, so it is some kind of the alpha. Okay, so projects can decide what GSP tier they want to give the seed to. That's always the case with the seed deals, that people want to know their seed investors. It's a little bit different at the public sale, since those tokens are going to the retail. But if we are supposed to provide some good deal to the projects raising their funds, then we want to say that, hey, it's because usually projects don't offer seat allocations for retail investors. So we need to find some arguments for them to include you. So what is our pitch session is that, hey, these are the gaming investors. So there's a very high probability that they will not dump your token, but use it for the sake of playing the game, because we built a very successful gaming community. But also, these are not retail. These are smart money. That's the narrative that we would like to build. So progressing with every tier is helping to us to push this narrative. We were supposed to be able to increase our GSWIFT tokens in GSP till 28 December. We can't now. You can explain why? I think it was some kind of miscommunication, as you can progress within your tier, but providing that there is the space left. So that's possible that you can progress to the diamond tier, but if as there were some slots left, but right now the GSP has been closed. It will be reopened as we promised in January, and that will be the time where you can do the upgrade. So if you have some GSWIFT tokens waiting on your wallet to do the upgrade, just wait for the January.
Yeah, exactly. We didn't expect, that all of these slots will be filled in so quickly. So we had, tentatively marked this 28th of December as a final date for the migration, because we were expecting that there will be still some slots left available. But actually, you guys were awesome and have managed, to fill out the slots so quickly.
Abhit Mohapatra is asking, any fundamentals for the Multiverse NFT that can pump the NFT? I think we are shifting to the very dangerous narrative. We are not here to pump anything. We are basically here to provide you with the fundamentals, with the fundamentals, and at the end of the day, you need to make your own decisions, because in other way that would be the financial advice. That's something that we want to avoid. So please bear it in mind that all the utilities for the Multiverse Super NFT has been already revealed. There's nothing else to be added. The first big utility has been used during the GS Pay campaign. That was the time where you were able to have some kind of the whitelist, and a lot of people who didn't have this NFT on their wallet, they missed out the entrance to the GS Pay tiers. So I think it turned out to be a very good utility of this NFT. And the second thing that we revealed is that this NFT will be used for the sake of GameSwift official NFT collection. So don't treat this Multiverse Super NFT, the one with the hammer, as our final official collection. That's what we said during the previous lives, that it is some kind of the one-time utility, and the official GameSwift NFT collection is yet to come. And I think that we can reveal that this NFT collection will be announced and will be sold during the first quarter next year. And having like this Multiverse expansion NFT will give you the whitelist. So that could turn out to be also very good utility. But thereafter, no more utility for this NFT. Our official NFT collection will take over all the benefits, because it's also worth to remind you that this Multiverse NFT was like the bonus for finishing the Multiverse expansion campaign, and it was not sold. There was no mint, no ICO, no token sale of this collection. It was supposed to be a one-time utility. Our initial plan was to connect it only with GSPay, but at the end of the day, we decided to add some extra second utility, which is going to be whitelist for our official NFT collection. So if I were in your shoes, I would not ape into all of those Multiverse NFTs. Okay, let's check. Any news on notes? Hyped to hear more about these guys. Yes, I know that a lot of people are asking about the notes. So the one big thing is that notes is yet to be announced. And they are going to be announced in February. This will be the month of GameSwift Modular blockchain. This will be the time when you will find out more. We don't want to provide too much bullish catalyst in one time. The big thing and the information that has been already revealed is that we are not going to sell those nodes. So there will be some auction for nodes. The whole utility for those nodes will be distributed to GSWIFT token. So you need to have the specific number of GSWIFT tokens to be staked and locked to have this node. And I believe that once announced, once revealed, this will be the source of another supply shock, because a lot of tokens will be locked in GSPay, some tokens will be locked in liquidity, some tokens will be locked on validators. So these are the three different sources of the supply shock that you can expect in the first quarter next year. And I think that, Lucas, we are fine. I think that we don't want, obviously, to answer about tax listings. What I would like to say is that that's not the end. We are still hungry for the next listings, for the bigger diversification of GSWIFT token. Right now, we are in 2 out of top 10 exchanges, including Texas, but also DEXs. But we are not satisfied at this stage. We were in talks with more exchanges. So what you can expect is another tax listing announcements.
Yeah, you can see our roadmap. Currently, it's stated that in the first quarter there will be also another CX listing. So yeah, you can expect news relatively soon. And this is also great because, more marketplaces, more exchanges, more token holders. This is very obvious. So, You know, when there is like a sausage, you want to sell your sausage in as many places and shops as possible. So ultimately, we want to do it also with GameSwift.
Yes, and PJ Fox, I see that you screw up by unlocking tokens before one day on stake. Don't worry. I was pretty close to make the same mistake, even though that I'm the closest to the alpha. So don't worry. January is coming inevitably, and soon you will have the opportunity to take advantage of those tokens. I think it's a matter of 2 up to 3 weeks. Okay. So I think that we are coming to the end. What we summarized is the whole 2023 year. We also went over the bullish catalyst for only first quarter next year. And, I think if I could choose the most anticipated news of the first quarter, for me, this will be Star Heroes Airdrop. Of course, it's not still officially announced, but you know me, you know that I like to front run some alphas, and I think that I wouldn't be surprised if some very big airdrop is coming. And I wouldn't be also surprised if there will be more Star Heroes like airdrops in the first quarter. Thank you, guys.
Oh, he's done. He was just coming to the end, I guess, and unfortunately we lost him. Yeah, so basically, thank you guys for this Christmas time meeting, town hall. Like, I believe like still a lot of you have showed up, even though this is a sort of I would say holiday time for majority of us. And yeah, we're very very excited about the next year. I believe like ultimately we want, this Pan has revealed about, this Star Heroes airdrop. Ultimately, we want this hashtag of, buy, stay, forget to trend everywhere. So I think that we will keep delivering, and you can expect that it's worth to stake, especially in GameSwift Pay. Thanks, guys. Goodbye.